Hi, everyone. Welcome to Engelgeist. This is my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. This is the Sunday weekly reading for the week of May 15th through the 21st. It is not solely set for that date. If you're watching this reading and it's on a date other than those dates, that's fine. You can still utilize the reading if it makes sense or if it fits somewhere in your life. If it doesn't fit, that's okay too. It may not be your reading, so just know that. If you're new to me, please check out the drop-down menu underneath the reading so that you can kind of look at the house rules, see how to support the channel. If you're interested in what decks I'm using, I usually have a listing there, an Amazon affiliate link there for the decks that I choose, or at least how to purchase them, things like that. So please check that out on any of the daily readings. And this is broad spectrum reading in the sense that we're looking at the collective energy that we might all be experiencing. So remember that you might be experiencing it in your life around a different situation that I might be describing. I do speak in broad terms to try and keep it as open as possible so that it reaches and validates as many people that may watch this reading. I hope that makes sense. If you're interested in a private reading, you can figure out how to do that through either contacting me through the link tree, and all of that. Those are available. Yesterday was a bit of a scattered reading, but we'll see how those that comment what they think. Today, after a full night's sleep, it's early in the morning here. I'm doing this when I'm normally supposed to be doing it, when it's nice and quiet. So we'll see how this weekly comes out. What else was I going to say? Please hit that thumbs up button if you enjoy the content. Subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell. If you're drawn to subscribe, please do so. Let your friends know about me. Share the video out. All of that stuff helps. Leaving questions and comments, I really appreciate those too. I read them all. And so thank you to those that do. And let's get into these cards. Each card is going to represent for like a day or two, maybe 3. Some of you might experience only one of these cards this week. Some of you might experience all of these cards and then some other energies. It's really, we're all each on a different path. But these readings are to let us know what might be available to us and out there for us. So let's look. And last week's reading was really good, I felt like. So let's see what this week brings. So for the beginning of the week, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. Yesterday's card was Judgment, which is like sort of the end of the Fool's Journey, or very close to the end of the Fool's Journey. The Wheel of Fortune, I feel like we saw her. Did we see her last week? I feel like we saw her on Tuesday. Regardless, the Wheel of Fortune is kind of, in my interpretation or the way I see it, is just sort of like the universe answering us in a way. And I always look at the wheel in this way of, what we focus on, we're going to sort of get more of. But if we open ourselves up, open our attention up, and place it on, new opportunities or different avenues, different paths, different possibilities or choices, we open ourselves up to sort of what the wheel, I kind of feel like, represents, right? Where it could be about shifting and changing our lives in certain areas or aspects of our lives that will ultimately benefit us. But sometimes it can feel a little bit maybe overwhelming or, like things are shifting too much. So, or they're not shifting fast enough even. And so we have to kind of watch where we think sort of the Wheel of Fortune is working in our life. We have to also trust that this turnout or this change, this shift, these gifts that are being given to us, these opportunities that, we may want to take are exactly that. They're gifts, right? They're coming from sort of the universe. And when I say the universe, I think of the universe as like sort of the connectivity of all like human higher selves or the souls in a sense, right? So I sometimes think that the wheel could be working on a higher vibrational frequency, and therefore we need to trust these changes that come about and follow them. And again, I feel like there's a little bit of not necessarily risk, because yesterday's card was Judgment, which was also major arcana, but there is this opportunity here that we need to maybe shift our perspective or shift our choice and move in a direction that is going to benefit us. The wheel to me is like this game of luck and chance. And in that way, excuse me, I need a sip of coffee. In that way, and I think it's more about not luck, but like uh, things working out in the end, right? So we need to remain open to that, however those possibilities come to us, right? If we're struggling with a certain situation or person or you know, I don't know what it is that you might be like sort of feeling like you're bouncing up against. The Wheel of Fortune offers us an opportunity to enact or engage in life in a different way and maybe take a different path. And that path opens us up to more possibility and good things being bestowed upon us, right? So I like this. There could be big shifts early in the week for us, but let those shifts happen. Sometimes the wheel moves very slowly. Sometimes we can be dealing with the Wheel of Fortune for a period rather than, just for one day. And the fact that we saw her in last week's, I think, Tuesday reading, and we're seeing her again in the early part of this week, underpinning this week, just speaks to the beginnings of shifts and changes still going on this week. Now, the next card is the Six of Pentacles. I love this. This is cute. So, the Six of Pentacles is about balance being restored. Sixes are always about balance, but I feel like I'm trying not to be too obsessed with last week's reading, but I do feel like we had that Ace of Pentacles, right, as the underpinning of the end of last week. And that is always a new opportunity, usually materially, like money wise, job wise, career wise. It can mean relationship wise, and that means romantic or friendship relationships could be changing or igniting, becoming new in our lives, right? Pathways are opening up. And so then we see the wheel coming in as the underpinning, and the wheel's still sort of moving us. Maybe it's slowly, maybe for some of you it's a little bit faster, but it's still opening us up to, no, wait, let's try this direction. The Six of Pentacles to me feels like the balancing of that at a physical level, bringing that into perspective and understanding this is what I want. The Six of Pentacles to me oftentimes is about charity or giving back, things coming back into balance, like things becoming equitable again, things becoming like more clearly seen or felt in a way. And there's a piece with the Six of Pentacles, I believe, that it gets sort of restored. So if there's any shifting or changing that's going on for any of you right now, I do think that the Six of Pentacles to me feels like a nice pit stop along the way. Let's call it that. Like it's like a road side stop, we get to stop, relax, settle in, and bring things back into balance, like probably more on a physical level because this is a Pentacles card. But I think it's a nice, solid, grounded, balanced card to have in the midweek, especially with the reading we had last week and the wheel going on, right? Moving everything, transforming everything, changing everything, shifting everything. And I think, because this is the 15th through the 21st, we do have that full moon in Scorpio. And I know I've been talking a lot about it. Whoa. Interesting. My power just almost went out. That's strange. I know I've been talking a lot about it, but I do think that some of these energies have to do with that. So this midweek card will be past the full moon. So we might still be experiencing those shifts and changes leading up to the full moon in the first few days of the week with the wheel sitting there. Six of Pentacles says things get restored back into balance for anybody that's feeling like hyper emotional or unsure of what they need or which way to go. I feel like Six of Pentacles brings in this sort of clarity, right, within us that we can kind of settle back into our skin and look at, okay, now what's the plan? What did I let go of? Which direction did my feet turn towards? Start to begin to put something together to move in that direction. Now, at the end of the week, wow, we have the World. And so the World is the last card of the major arcana. Sorry, I was drawing a blank there. I kind of love her. She's giving me like Florence and the Machine vibes. And I just got the new Florence album and I've yet to listen to it. But I will say this. The World is about beginning. Well, first to me, it's about endings and then new beginnings. Which again, to me, was a major theme that we saw in last week's reading, building us up. The world is kind of, to me, the aces on steroids in a way. The world shows us, in my opinion, what we've learned through the lesson that we've been working through, or the situation, the person, the relationship, about ourselves very clearly. That's like the nakedness of her body. And I love that in this depiction, she's pregnant. Traditionally, she's not necessarily shown pregnant. There's a woman shown nude in the center of the card, which says that, in my opinion, it's like we see ourselves a little bit more clearly, a little bit more purely, a little bit more realistically, maybe even a little bit more vulnerably, but with like compassion towards ourselves, because we've grown in some way. We've learned something along the fool's journey, right? We've come to this plateau or this state of understanding that in the end, and she's also surrounded in the traditional card of a victory wreath, right? In the end, it all does sort of work out, and it informs us, and we're a smarter, more complete, more whole person. With this card, though, I this pregnancy belly keeps drawing my attention. Again, speaks to that idea of rebirth, and not to go back to the full moon, but Scorpio is a sign of sex, death, and regeneration, which to me, that's all like the birth cycle. So bringing new ideas at this time feels really prosperous. Like if any of you have any new things percolating in the backs of your minds, I would say with the Wheel of Fortune as the beginning card of the week, the Six of Pentacles, which is nicely grounded and balanced, and then the World at the end of the week. Now's the time to sort of close up chapters and begin new ones. And like for each one of you, that statement will mean something different. Like if it's the ending of a relationship or the ending of a job and moving to a different position or career or a partnership or friendship, whatever it is for you, I feel like you're doing it. If these are your cards for the week, you're doing it in a way that is, I get a good feeling from it. Like it feels with that Six of Pentacles in the center, I get a good feeling that we're balanced and we're able to maintain and we're able to understand and flow with the changes and allow them almost to become like they're in the World card. To me, there's this gratitude, this understanding, learning that we've had through the experience of whatever cycle we've been in. And now we're wiser for it. We're smarter for it. We see ourselves a bit more clearly. And we're able to sort of close up one chapter and start to begin the next. The Fool's Journey sort of regains or re-begins. So looking at maybe what we need to let go of and what we want to bring in is an option this week that is fully supported, not only by sort of the bigger universal energies, i.e. the wheel and the world working in our lives, but we also have the Six of Pentacles in the center, which says to me, we're probably going to do this rather well from a place of balance and discernment than like feeling like we're being tossed and turned. There's a trust here, I feel almost, with the wheel and the world, where if we look around us and we look at how people are treating us, what they're saying to us, how the world is interacting with us, we're going to get a clearer and better picture of not only which way to go, but who we are and how we've changed. If that makes sense, right? Because that's sort of the world too. The world is, to me, this sort of almost graduation to a new level, to a new story, to a new opportunity. So, and she's definitely there, sort of ready to go, especially with that pregnancy belly. To me, it's like there's a new idea on the horizon. There's a new baby to come, something sweet, something we care about, something we desire, something we want, something we love, right? And it's within us. And we're kind of setting ourselves up to bring it into the world in a way. I hope that makes sense. And then let's see what the Sacred Traveler card is. So impasse, reflect and redirect your energy. And there's a squirrel. Squirrels are always about harvesting, like, saving things until later. And that wall behind him, something's blocking his path. There may be something that we need to look at this week that we need to sort of not contend with, but contemplate so that we can sort of find that new movement or where we're supposed to go. The wheel to me feels like that shifting or that positioning where all of a sudden our perspective may shift around a certain situation that would be rather important to us. The Six of Pentacles would indicate looking at this shift or this change, this decision as favorably or as balanced as you can without getting too emotional about it, especially around the full moon vibes. The world says we come to that understanding. If there is an impasse or there's something blocking your way, this will be the week where we kind of come across it or maybe deal with it, maybe face it head on and figure a way around. I will say this, and that doesn't mean like we get to fake it. But squirrels, not only do they harvest, they think long term, right? In their natural like feeding ability and all of that. They're also very highly smart and swift, deft, functional in that way. So even though we have a wall ahead of us, maybe, or an impasse that we're dealing with or facing at this time, the squirrel, to me, I feel like will find an answer for this. I feel like the world and the wheel card and then the measuredness of the Six of Pentacles says we are going to look at this. We are going to try and find a way to learn from it and then move forward, right? But we may not be allowed to move forward until we really look at it for what it is. So let's read impasse really quick. Reflect and redirect your energy. Turning back isn't necessarily a failure. Sometimes it's the wisest thing you can do. If there's an area in your life where there's an impasse, the universe is telling you to use this as a time to reflect and redirect your energy in another way. And it's interesting, I will say this after that statement, it is Mercury retrograde, which is all about reflect, redirect, revisit. So anything that we didn't like sort of get in the last cycle, now's the time to get it this week. Wisdom is knowing when to back down, turn around, and then let it go. There are times in life to break through barriers, and there are times to change direction. There is an area in your life regarding There is an area in your life regarding relationships, business, finances, health, or your life path that needs to be evaluated. Perhaps a new route is needed. If you reach an impasse in life, instead of protesting that it's unfair or unwarranted, change your course. Do it quickly and easily. Instead of focusing on what's not working, focus on what can work and what steps are needed to create a different outcome. This is the sign of a sage. The wise one views an obstacle and if it's impassable, he immediately steps back and goes a different way. Therein dwells the sage's success. Whatever the obstacle in your life, you have learned what you needed to learn. Now back away and choose a different path. So, and I feel like this different path is being like given to us through this Wheel of Fortune and the world, right? So pay attention to those feelings and everything that's going on around you. The grounding stone this week is on Tiger's Eye, but the word is forgive. Where can we maybe forgive ourselves, others, situations that maybe are creating that impasse? Maybe there's something we can't let go of, or we feel like we can't get around and make sense of, understand why did they treat me this way? Why this? Why that? Let's find some of that forgiveness for whatever it may be that's on our mind or in our hearts, and allow ourselves to look at it from a different perspective, to not be chained to it as much, but to be able to look at it more objectively. And then in that forgiveness, we might just free ourselves up to be able to move forward, say next week or this month or whatever that looks like for you on your timeline. So focus on forgiveness of people, situations, and yourself this week. That is your reading. Thank you so much. Please hit like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how this energy builds. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.